What are the things to look for when buying a house? Buying a house is a significant investment, and it's important to do your due diligence ahead of time to ensure you're getting a good deal on a property that meets your needs. But sometimes knowing what to look for can be overwhelming, especially if it's a new area or if this is your first home purchase. Hi, I'm Lydia Rowe, a realtor in the Miami Valley region of Ohio, and I have seen a lot of buyers make or almost make some pretty bad mistakes in the home buying process. Let's not let that be you. Here is your 10 things to look for when buying a house checklist. And stay tuned throughout because I will also include bonus tips that I've learned about the hard way. Number 1, location. Consider the neighborhood, proximity to schools, shops, and public transportation. Look for a location that meets your current and future needs. Research the crime rate, the quality of the school district, and the overall desirability of the area. Bottom line, is this where you want to be? Is this the community you want to put down roots in for the next season of your life? How's the commute to work? How close is the nearest grocery store or airport? What's the view out of your kitchen or bedroom window? Can you imagine yourself here? Number 2, the size and layout. Make sure that the house meets your needs in terms of the number of bedrooms, bathrooms, and overall square footage. Consider the layout and flow of the house as well. Think about how you'll use each room and whether the layout will work for your needs. Do you like to entertain? Do you have kids or animals? Do you have out-of-town guests coming in? What's the parking situation? Look at the size of the living area, the number of closets and storage spaces, and the overall functionality of the layout. Your first or second house is not usually going to be your dream home, so look for functionality for this next season of your life, not necessarily forever. Number 3, age and condition. Consider the age of the house and its condition. Older houses may require more maintenance and may have outdated systems, while newer houses may come with warranties. Look for signs of wear and tear, such as peeling paint or stained carpets, and consider the cost of any repairs or updates that may be needed. Get a home inspection to identify any potential issues that may not be immediately apparent. Did you know that you can get home warranties on a home even when it's not new? These products have vastly improved in the last few years, so if you've looked into home warranties a few years ago and wrote them off because of the limitations, you might want to take another look. Not all home warranties are the same, so make sure that you look at the fine print or just ask me and I'll let you know the good ones. I don't get any money from home warranties, but I can tell you the good ones. Just let me know. A word of wisdom on inspections. Their job is to find every flaw, so especially if you're looking at an older home, don't be surprised if an inspection report turns up 84 pages of issues. That's pretty normal. What you want to look for is the major defects and things that will cost a lot to fix. It's a good idea to budget a few $1,000s for minor repairs and just count on that in the cost if you're looking at older homes. Here's a tip. If the house has been recently painted or new flooring, ask the inspector for their opinion on the quality of work and materials. This isn't a deal breaker usually, but it's good to know. If, for instance, they painted over oil-based paint without using the correct primers, that paint will eventually bubble and peel off, but it takes a few months. I learned that the hard way. Still happy with my purchase, but would have been nice to know. An inspector will also look at the next few items on the checklist. Number 4, infrastructure. Check the condition of the roof, the foundation, the plumbing, the electrical systems. These are expensive items to repair or replace, so it's important to make sure that they're in good condition. Look for signs of damage or wear and tear, and consider the age of the systems. If they're outdated, it may be necessary to budget for replacements. I want to caution you against making decisions based on just the way something looks or on fear of the unknown. Normal settling can cause hairline fractures in a foundation, and some corrosion on water heater line is pretty common to find depending on the age of the home and the material used. Unless you're looking at a brand new home, it's unreasonable to expect everything to seem new. Here's an insider tip if you're looking at homes built in the 1970s, 1980s. If the electric panel is a Federal Pacific, also known as FPE panel, you may run into trouble with your financing, as some mortgage companies consider this a fire hazard that will need to be upgraded before you close. If you're selling a home with a Federal Pacific panel, just do everyone a favor and replace it now. If you're buying, make sure to take a look at the panel when you're looking for homes, and if it's FPE, add a couple thousand to your budget if seller won't replace it. Your inspector will be able to speak to these things more fully as well. Number 5, heating and cooling systems. Consider the efficiency and the age of the HVAC system. An older, ineffective system can be costly to operate and maintain. Look for the energy efficient systems that will save you money in the long run. Consider the type of fuel the system uses and the availability and cost of that fuel in the area. You can often request that the current homeowners provide estimates of these costs before even making an offer. This is one item where a good home warranty can really prove to be cost effective. If you find that the HVAC system is toward the end of its life, but it's still quite functional, some home warranties will cover those systems. Just make sure it's a good warranty and read the fine print, because some warranties are basically just coupons. They'll help you lower the cost or discount a replacement, but will not cover the full cost. For HVAC, I haven't found a better warranty than the 210 Home Buyers warranty, and I have a local contact if you need her number and you are in the Dayton, Ohio area. Number 6, energy efficiency. Look for energy efficient features such as double paned windows, insulation, and energy efficient appliances. These features can save you money on your energy bills and make the house more comfortable to live in. Consider the age of the windows and the type of insulation in the walls in the attic. Look for the Energy Star label on appliances to ensure that they're energy efficient. There are some government programs available that will reimburse you for a portion, sometimes a significant portion of the cost of upgrading to more energy efficient features as well. If you notice a window is a little foggy and it doesn't clear up when you rub it, that could indicate a leak in the seal. Again, your inspector should note these things for you. Number 7, storage. This is often overlooked. You will want to make sure there's enough storage space for your needs. This includes closet space, cabinets, and storage areas such as attics and basements. Consider the size of the storage spaces and the availability of shelving and other organizational features. Especially if you anticipate your family growing or you're a pack rat. Side note, almost 100% of children are pack rats. Seriously, they find random treasures on the ground, the free bins, trash, at the garage sales. There's never ending supply of new treasures coming into my home. Homes in the cute downtown areas are notorious for not enough closet storage space. There are creative solutions, but just keep this in mind and make notes when you're looking so that you aren't unpleasantly surprised when moving in. Number 8, natural light. Consider the amount of natural light in the house. Well-lit rooms can make a house feel larger and more welcoming. Look at the size and placement of the windows and consider whether additional lighting will be needed and if it's possible. A well-placed tube skylight can make a huge difference and isn't terribly expensive. Adding windows is another story, although often worth the investment. This is very opinion dependent and much more important to some people than others, but the majority of people do enjoy good natural lighting, so it's something to consider for resale value as well. In older homes, some rooms do not have any overhead lights and would require lamps. So if you have dreams of overhead lighting and or ceiling fans throughout, make sure to add this into your upgrade expenses. Number 9, outdoors. Check the condition of the yard, deck, and the outdoor features. Consider the size of the outdoor space and whether it meets your needs. Look at the condition of the landscaping, fencing, and outdoor structures, and consider the amount of maintenance they will require. Sometimes you may fall in love with the current landscaping and then you find you can't keep up with the weeding. Do you need a fence? Do you want a garden? Try to consider all 4 seasons and what you may need or want outdoors. Keeping moisture away from your foundation is one of the best ways to keep from having mold and mildew issues, as well as cracking and leaking. Proper grading of the land so that rain rolls away from the house, as well as proper drain spouts, are things to look for. If the grading is sloped toward the house, that's not an easy fix. You also don't really want plants and shrubbery up against the house. That's one of the ways pests like termites and beetles gain access. Side note on termites, it's a good idea to have the house inspected for pests, and this is not always covered by an inspector. Sometimes it requires an additional inspection, so make sure to inquire about that when you're looking at inspections. If there's evidence of pests, these issues are important to address. However, they aren't usually scary, widespread, deal-breaking issues, and it's not nearly as expensive as you might think to treat. So don't let that scare you away from a house that you love. And number 10, cost. Compare the cost of the house to similar houses in the area to ensure you're getting a good deal. Look at the price per square foot and consider any additional costs, such as closing costs, moving expenses. Don't forget to factor in the ongoing expenses of homeownership, such as property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. This is where a good real estate agent can be super helpful. Bonus tip. This did not make my top 10, but since we are in the Miami Valley of Ohio, I want to make sure you understand radon, as it's very common around here, especially in homes with a basement. Radon is a gas that can cause harm over long periods of time. There's no evidence to show any harm done over weeks, months, or even years, but continued exposure over multiple years has been known to cause health issues. If the home you are looking at currently has radon treatment, you don't have anything to be concerned about. Just make sure to get the system tested regularly to ensure it's still working. Home inspections do not always include radon testing, so if this is important to you, make sure that that's included. If levels are high, installing a mediation system ranges from $900 to $1,500, depending on what you want and who you go with. So there you have it, my 10-point checklist on things to look for when buying a house. You probably have other factors that are important to you. It's a good idea to make a list of your priorities and use it as a guide when looking at potential properties. Also, one big thing to keep in mind is that this doesn't have to be, and probably won't be, your forever home. You don't have to check every box of your wants and desires, but you do want to make sure your must-haves are covered. You can live in the space for a few years at least, and you're pretty confident in the resale value should you decide to move up. If you want a more detailed guide on home buying, visit www.listwithlydia.com and go to my blog, where you can download a free e-guide called Things to Consider When Buying a Home, or just reach out to me and I'll send it to you. My contact info is in the description. If you're thinking about moving in the Dayton metropolitan area, including Tipp City, Troy, Beaver Creek, Oakwood, Inglewood, Vandalia, West Milton, or anywhere in the Miami Valley of Ohio, I'd love to help you find the perfect home. Click on my picture to subscribe to my channel and stay up to date on all things living in Miami Valley of Ohio. And as always, if you have a question or an idea for another video, drop a comment and hit like if you got anything out of today's video so more people can find it. Talk to you soon.